Hey, welcome back. Today we are going to start this lovely landscape with a hot air balloon, and it's going to be a two-part painting, 1 week per part. We are going to start with just the landscape, the sky, the fields, the distant mountains. We have blue, white, and a little bit of green. And we're going to get our blue brush wet first, wring it out on the edge of the cup, and kind of tap it in place and load it up with the blue, lots of blue. And we're going to start on the very top edge from one corner all the way to the other. And bring it down about an inch or two, like that. Right. So same brush, I didn't wash it. I'm going to pick up a little bit of white, and I'm going to drop it down lower here, all the way across the edges, and I'm going to work it up into the darker blue. And we're going to have all these lovely streaks from the two colors blending. And that's what we want. We want it to be streaky and a soft, soft blend like that. Now we're going to pick up some more white on the same brush. Lots more white. And we're going to go even lower now, down here. And we're going to work it up into that other color. Now, if you find that the paint isn't coming off very smoothly, just dip it lightly in your water. Just a little bit of water, but instead of just going straight to the canvas, add it to your little mix first. Okay, now you can blend and it will be really, really smooth and soft. No hard edges. And now I'm going to dip in even more white and come really low, like maybe down to here. And work it up, picking up more white, work it up into the preceding color, drag it up like that. Soft, soft blend up into a darker sky. And that's it. All right, now using the green, dark green brush with the sharp edge, we're going to pinch that edge. We're going to start adding a little bit of blue to that light blue mix that we used for the sky, and a little bit of green, and I pick them up with the corner of the brush and add them in. Something like that. Maybe a touch more blue. There we go, something like that. And we are going to start layering our mountain ranges. So this one's going to be the furthest away, and it needs to have the most amount of white mixed into it, so it kind of reflects the sky almost. And I'll go ahead and start it down here and have the peak come up here and maybe kind of fizzle out right over there. Fill it in like that. Now, as you're getting to the base of the mountain, you want to reveal some more white because mist collects at the base of the mountain and it adds to the sense of distance. So I'll rinse my brush out, squeeze it out, and just very lightly go over the bottom part of this mountain like this, just to soften that transition from paint to white. And so now we have kind of this misty bottom. There you go. All right, now let's try the second mountain range, this one here. And it doesn't really have to be right there. It can be anywhere you like, but this one is definitely going to be a little bit darker. So that same mix that you've already had for the first mountain range, just add a little bit more blue and a little bit more green to it. I'll start it a little bit higher here. I'm just using the edge of my green brush, definitely darker. I'll intersect it here, and maybe pick it up over here, like that. Tiny bit more water into my mix. My paints are drying. And now I'll be filling in this mountain range. Back and forth, we're adding the white so that once again we have a really soft transition from the mountain to the white, and that gives it a sense of distance. There you go. And now we're going to do this darker mountain range that has a lot more green. We're still using the same green brush, and a lot more blue. And we'll come up here somewhere and intersect all of those mountains there like this. And we'll fill it in with a darker color. Want to make sure that it's at least 2 shades darker than the medium mountain range here. So if that means you have to add a little bit more blue or green to it, go for it. Now, as mountains come closer and closer to us, they get warmer and warmer, and so that means we have to add more and more green. Select between this mountain range and the medium one. Just grab a little bit of white, and very lightly with the edge of the brush, just start creating this little pool of mist at the bottom, and very lightly brush it into the mountain. And that makes it seem like it's further and further away. We're going to do the same thing with this one now. We're going to start using more white at the base. I'm going to mix it into the color of this mountain, some white. I'm going to come over here and work it up into the mountain color, because we also want this one to have some mist collecting at the base. Okay, we're ready for the foreground. So we're going to use our big lime green brush, and we're going to mix up the dark green and the dark brown, but mostly it's going to be the dark green, not as much dark brown as the green. Basically, we're creating a really dark, rich, earthy green here. And we're going to start at the very bottom edge and fill it in with that dark color, like that. Once I'm about an inch up like this from the bottom of the canvas, I'm going to start picking up just the green, not the mix with the brown, but just the green. And I'll start layering it over the darker parts like this. More green. Now the shape of your field could be pretty much any way you like. You can overlap it. You can have it come up from this side like this. This is just the green now, with just the green. Come up here and finish a little bit lower. And fill it all in. All right, we still have our flat green brush here, and I've added some yellow and light green to the mix. If you guys don't have dark green, I'm sorry, light green, I can't remember, it will be the dark green plus white and yellow. And so we're going to start building this lighter edge of our field. We're going to combine the light green or dark green plus white and some yellow and a little bit of white. The white helps to make it opaque. So you're kind of going for this apple green color. And now we're going to take over the top edge here, paint right over the top edge using the edge of the brush. And you can actually change the top of this hill to make it a little bit flatter on top, like that. I'm flattening it out so I have sort of like a platform for my trees. And just using the edge, I'm only highlighting the top of the field, You can even add a little bit more white and a little bit more yellow because you really want the sun to hit the top of this hill. Like that. And just kind of let the paint disappear and kind of run out all by itself like that. You see that the sun's already hitting our field. Now we'll be adding more and more green into the same mix. So we started with this on top, and now as we move down, we're going to add light green first to the mix. We want to gradually darken it. Some of that brown still shows through. So don't go too thick. And if it helps you guys, you can switch to the lime green brush. The lime green brush, because it has a point and you can finish the streak on a point. Sometimes that's easier to do. So like this. Press, 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 and then pick it up and let this part just kind of end on the point. End on the point. And what we're looking for is all of these darker parts to show through, because that's giving us kind of the little peaks and valleys and little indentations in our grassy field. Not too much paint, let it kind of show itself through. There you go. Now I'm going to start adding dark green. I'll kind of overlap it a little bit here and let the dark green come down. It gradually gets darker and darker. In fact, because we have all of this blue going on in the upper part of the canvas, I would add a touch of blue into my dark green at the bottom. Go ahead and add some of that blue. I'm using my lime green brush now. And add it to the very bottom edge and work it up, work it up. And that sort of ties everything together, makes it cohesive. And blue is often used in shadows. So it's a good idea to spread that color out a little bit, especially in the shadows, like that. And you have all these soft little peaks and valleys, and the sun is hitting it. And that's our little valley. All right, when you're lightening your field with the lighter greens, if you kind of got carried away and lost some of the darkness at the base, what I recommend is using the lime green brush is to get into your brown and a little bit of blue and mix those two together, brown and blue, maybe a touch of green. And this will be a really beautiful, rich looking shadow color. And put it back in at the bottom, because we want the bottom to carry all of that darkness. It kind of grounds the painting. Okay, so that's part one of this painting. We will do the hot air balloon and the trees next time. Any questions, text me or email me. You can email me or text me your pictures of what you have so far. And if you need a critique or advice, I'm happy to do it. And I'll see you guys next time.